Again, Randy. If you want to stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will apologize. Sarah is not here. One of her children just got hurt and they're on the way to the hospital. She cut herself, so she's probably gonna have stitches. Don't know which one, just that she's on her way there. So if things don't go smoothly, it's because she's not here today. So announcements. We have a reminder of the nuisance ordinances and the junk law and the trash and mowing ordinances. It's just a friendly reminder because we're gonna have the dumpsters next month and we want to make sure people use them. We are working on a letter to hand deliver to some people here in town to see if they would do that. We do want to make sure the tires are cut, there's no paint, no chemicals or roofing materials. That is May 2nd from 8 to 3 right over here in the Y. We do have 2 very large dumpster coming this year, so we've upped a dumpster because we were being overweight and then overcharged, so. Approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Public comments. Do we have any comments from the floor?
I have a comment.
Okay.
I was wondering if we could get the street opened back up since the building's not falling anymore.
I talked to him Saturday, the contractor, and I asked him if we could have at least the one-way coming in, because I know that against the building, we're not gonna be able to open it. So we're going to vote, it's on the thing, to, turn this way and come one way, this way, and then out
Yeah,
different.
well, you wanna discuss it now?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you go out this way, then you cannot see because of the construction debris and stuff is the only reason I suggest that. So, you know what I mean? If you pull up this way, here. But if you pull up this way to the south side, you have to pull up too far.
People do anyway.
Okay, well, it just made sense to me to put it one way this way, just for that block.
I think we ought to scoot it back to where the parking is. And then we'll have 2 lanes. And it's like pulling out here at the library. Or if there's a whole bunch of cars on the other side, you have to just take your time and pull out. I think it's been closed long enough, and
Well, it's been closed
there's
long
nothing
enough.
else gonna fall out that far.
They're just using the street for storage and they
Yeah.
can find
Yeah.
storage somewhere else.
They can move everything on the other side, because that is what needs to come down next.
Well, I talked to him and they're doing the inside of the front of the pharmacy first, because they have to move it up front to tear out the back.
So they don't need the storage out there on 2 lanes.
No, he said it would be like 4 weeks before they would get back,
Wow.
to
They can
this
move
side.
this stuff next Monday.
Okay, so you're gonna go talk to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't move it back where you could have both lanes.
I'll give them till next Monday.
That's a really wide area there.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just people are gonna have to be careful.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I got a question.
Yes.
I was just curious, I noticed yesterday there was a food truck on the street, on 8th Street.
I think I saw somebody said Pappy's was here for an hour and a half or something.
Are they required to get a permit or anything to sell on the street?
Not here, we don't have anything in it.
My concern is for the other local businesses that sell food, that
Yeah.
have made an investment in the community, bought property, paid property taxes.
There's been a food truck coming up to the high school for years, so, have you ever been up there at noon?
No.
They park right out in front of the office.
I never knew that.
They have.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if they do
I
it
do
all.
know that we have a donut guy that comes in once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's on private property, I think that's different, but if it's
Okay,
parked in the street, I just don't know. I don't know, just a consideration, is that, you know what I'm saying, people make an investment in a building,
yeah,
everyday operation, and then a lot of times somebody blows in from somewhere else and just parks in a town street, and the way they go, it just seems,
yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of towns require you to get a permit for something like that, and at least the town, I don't know, it's $100 or $200 or whatever, but at least the town gets something, and, there has to be some kind of
Yeah.
process for that.
We could probably, do a resolution or ordinance to include a food truck or vendors, but I think the only time we have them really is at the fair or the, pottery festival. I don't know any other town, or any time that, other than the ice cream truck that comes through once in a while.
Hometown.
Oh, the chocolate walk too. So,
Something to consider.
yeah, I'm not sure we wanna do that for those festivities though, do you?
Could you write an ordinance where those are omitted because that's a town function?
Yeah, that would be a
Thought.
Yeah. You wanna look into it?
Yeah, we can. I think we should check with the courthouse too, see if there's a county thing that might be already covered.
County probably won't cover it because they only usually do the unincorporated areas of the county. But there may be something with the Department of Health. Yeah, you think it would be.
I'm would be certain they would have a permit from the Department of Health, but a lot of times the temporary merchant's license is different than the health and sanitation license.
Right.
Okay, we'll look into that one.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Anybody else? Okay, the clerk's treasurer report is, she's not here, so, it was just right when she ran out. I do know that she's got her end of year done and she's working with Mike Kleinpeter to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row so we don't lose any of our grant money for the tower, because, you only have so much time to keep that grant open. It is supposed to be done by July 1st, but they're having issues with with Codwell tanks. And that's on later, so we'll just finish that up in a minute, but, so how about the police department?
So on our normal CAD system information I provide the council, we had about 28 traffic stops, 18 calls for service. We did have 4 calls that the Clay County Sheriff's Department took for us. Those were not missed calls by us, they did take them, but they just didn't contact Larry or myself. So they did that out of their own generosity, we'll say. And then, other than that, pretty much everything as normal as could be. We have recently had a couple small incidences of people trying to break into properties, so it's starting to get warmer and that stuff starts to happen, so just neighbors and everybody help out, watch out for each other's things. You see anything out of the ordinary, contact the sheriff's department and they'll dispatch somebody out to it.
We're getting into grass mowing season and stuff, so I would like to take a vote on to let Terry just, if the grass is overrun and the weeds and the trash and all that he can go ahead and send the written notice, and then after that, we follow up after. he does that, and they've had ample time to, take care of that. So do you have any objections to that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And then I've already started a new list of the properties that are abandoned in town to locate if the ownership has changed again, because that tends to happen with those properties a lot. And then we'll start sending mailing to those owners of the buildings that no one's taken care of and let them know that they'll have to do that.
We're gonna talk about blight in a little bit. You got anything else, Terry?
Did you have anything, Larry?
Did you order equipment?
For
I thought you were
Oh,
trading
the
something.
radios that we talked about at our employee meeting, don't have an exact price yet, but roughly, they told me probably around $180. They're updating our mobiles, which we only have the two in the two vehicles, and then our portables, which we have two that are new enough to actually update. So the whole county-wide are updating the encryption, and so we basically have to do it to be able to talk around everybody else. So it'll be probably about 180 times 4, roughly.
Okay.
And Sarah would probably just take that out of our regular fund that we had. But yeah, I think that was it, as far as anything we needed right now.
Yeah, she said we had the money for it, so.
Water?
Other than, I'm still looking into contractors to clean out the pond and change the filter media. Basically, we have a half a dozen leaks that we're gonna get fixed. Not major leaks, just minor inconveniences, but everything's pretty good, really.
Sewer report? Devin's not here. Oh, no. He's the street department, that's okay. I'm seeing that.
Good.
Yeah, we're good.
So it's April 1st, we started our E. coli testing,
Mhm.
so far that's been good and stuff. We had, last week before, we had 14 loads, Terre Haute come down and hauled out 14 loads of our digesters. We've got a few other little things out there to get a hold of somebody to look at, but, other than that, everything's running fine.
Randy, do you recall what that bill was?
11,000. They took 84,000 gallons out, and the rest was pump cost, crew cost, and the truck to haul it off.
Okay, so it was just under $12,000, so can you guys make a motion that we need to pay that bill?
I'll make a motion to pay the bill for the.
Hauling off of the sludge out at, sewer plant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So what that is those great big, concrete things out at the sewer plant, those are the digesters, and you have to empty them so low for item and, who is it, Randy?
Terre Haute wastewater plant. They're the ones that hauled it off to Terre Haute.
They
Yeah,
had huge trucks this time, we hadn't had. big
they had
trucks like that.
semis
Yeah.
that were hauling it off.
So they did it in, what, 2 days?
3. Yeah. It ended up being like 84,000 gallons that they took out of each digester.
And that will
between the
last
two. It
3 or
should
4
last
years?
a couple, hopefully a year or better.
Okay,
Yeah, we should be good for a few years.
Yeah.
alright. Anything else, Jim?
Yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, we just got a couple little things. We're trying to get a hold of a couple companies to come and look at a grid auger and stuff, and maybe do some service work on the clarifiers, but we just gotta get a hold of them, come down and give us quotes. They'll give us like, different companies, so they'll give us like 2 or 3 quotes, so.
So Donnella, what he's talking about, the plant was put in the early 2000s. So what you're talking about was the digesters, which used to be the old treatment plant. Well, now what we're talking about is the clarifiers. They're the ones in the ground up front. It's since that plant's put in, nobody's ever did a total inspection of the arms that go around. It's time for them to be serviced and checked on and leveled back up, the skimmer arms that go around on the bottom and the top. So we're gonna get some quotes on what it will take to have them serviced. What we're trying to avoid is a mechanical failure. We're just wanting to get service, maintain what we've had. It's been over 20 some years, so it's time for them to be checked and looked into so that nothing goes wrong and we're not out a big bill.
Okay. You guys have questions on that? Street department. Doug isn't here, but he was going to work on, the stop signs, getting those, is this what they ordered?
That's just what it's been doing.
Oh, this is what his report is. Okay.
And we give him that list the other day.
And the blue truck is where? Did it go in somewhere?
No, it's the white Ford
Oh, the
dump
pickup,
truck
okay, the
is
dump truck.
at Miller's.
This other paper is the training that he wanted to go to. It's free for him. All he
Yes,
had to
he
do
is going to be with the Ford company, and they all he has to do is get there to Warsaw. Am I saying that right? Or Wabash?
Wabash, Indiana.
All he has to do is get there. They're providing the hotel and food for a 2-night stay, and he will go through all equipment that has anything to do with the water, valves, clamps, the whole 9 yards, hydrants, and then you'll actually get a tour of the Ford plant itself, and everything's paid for through the company. So I advised him that it would be a good idea if he goes and stays. It's not going to cost him anything besides getting there.
Right.
It's an 8 hours a day class that he'll go through. He'll get information and then actually have like a little testing afterwards. And the last day is a tour of the plant. I think Terrence went to it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial for what he does on the street department on fixing leaks.
So we need to make a motion to let him go to that. It is, the 13th through the 15th.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to allow him to go to that training.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do you know if there's anything else that he wanted to bring up? He's good.
Basically, we have a list of a few leaks that need to be repaired. A couple he's going to handle himself. A couple we're going to call out BNT on and have them handle it.
Yes, he did fix 2 or 3.
Yeah, he's already got a couple fixed. He did Kano's, as you guys know. You went and looked at it. Then on the opposite side of that alley, he's got a repair there to do, whether it's the meter leaking from the main that's in the alley, but we need to fix
We
the
fixed that
drain.
a couple times when Terrence was on.
Yeah, we got a drain or a drain tile that needs to be put in that waterway right there. If it isn't, it's just, it's according, is it the meter that's leaking, hooking up to the main, or if it's just rainwater that isn't getting away, but that's on his list to repair.
Okay. Any other questions on any of this?
No, I don't know.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept the 5 sewer adjustments.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the adjustments on the sewer.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Old business, we have the tower update. We were talking about that a while ago. With our grant and stuff, Mike and Sarah are moving some of our funds to make sure that we don't lose anything. I finally got a call back from the engineers this week, and they are not wanting to start now till July or August. But we signed a contract that project would be done by July 1st. So Chris has the information. I think we need to vote whether we want to send a letter to Codwell saying, you know, you're gonna be in breach of contract if you don't even start till after the completion date is, passed. So what are your thoughts on that?
Chris gonna fix the letter.
Yeah, he's waiting to hear from us if that's what we wanna do.
Sounds like we need to do
Yeah.
something. Otherwise-
Need to get the
Well, if they're in breach of contract, we have ways to collect, but then I don't know if that means they don't fix it, or they do, or they, so we're just trying to push them along, is what we want. So send a letter,
Mhm.
you wanna go ahead and make a motion, just so it's clear?
I'll make a motion to send a letter.
To
Chris,
Chris.
to make sure that we
Yeah,
get back on
second.
track. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Carl Pipes federal hearing, the sentencing hearing, we still have not heard, anything. I did talk to, Jake Overton, who was from the FBI this week, and I talked to, Stephanie Lloyd, who's from the Attorney General's office, and they're working on closing statements, so they are still accepting impact letters if anybody didn't get one turned in that wanted to. They just say they'll let us know when that date is going to be near. So that's the only update we have on it. Wabash Valley Campground. I think that was what you and Jake are working on.
Jake will be repairing the leak seal on a motor, and there's a spare at 14th Street. If it's compatible for what needs to be put in, Jake and Doug will do that, and then Don will install the new program part of it and help make it run like it should. But I mean, there is one pump in there. There is one running, obviously.
So after they do that, do you know how much that is estimated to be? That just repair project on this one?
The piece we had to replace, I'm
The
not.
drive was 500 and something.
Yes, and so like if that motor, we're talking about a leak seal. And usually when we bring it to Wabash Clay or Wabash Motor, what they do is they say, okay, it's gonna cost this much to replace the seal. And they compare it to the price of the new one. And they'll tell us which one is which.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically, it's like over like 60% or something. They just say replace instead of fix, but generally it's about 3,000 to 5,000 to rebuild
Yeah,
for those pumps. And I think probably a new one that size is probably maybe 8.
so we're hoping the one at 14th Street is the correct replacement one. And then after that, like I said, I've already heard, I think it needs to be turned back over to them
Well, that's what
to handle.
I talked to Randy about this earlier, I think it was yesterday.
Hmm.
But, she suggested that maybe after we fix it this time, that we just say there's no legal documentation on who's going to take care of this. We've put enough money into it, turn it back over to the campground. So what are your thoughts on that?
Do it.
The main
Well,
thing,
They paid to put it in.
yeah, they paid to
Nobody's on it but them.
it's not servicing the town, so there's no reason for the town to maintain it. Just like right now, they're doing some upgrade of their fire protection. It's going through Indianapolis. They called and contacted me to get a hold of like a flow test of what our hydrants do. And like I told them, once you're inside that campground, that's outside of Clay City's district. We don't control anything inside there. So they had their own treatment plant. I don't know, previous boards I wasn't aware of why this took place. That lift station is only servicing them only. I don't know why the town is maintaining that. They should not maintain that. Now I do know that the campground is undergoing a smoke test. to alleviate any water. I, which the town has went through previous years, we went through all this. So they're upgrading their system. I think that lift station should be theirs to maintain. It should not be the town's. It's only servicing them. So why are we absorbing the cost of all this? It's theirs. They had a waste treatment plant to start with.
Thoughts?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna keep it, then they should pay for the repairs on it. Would be the only other way to do it, that I could see.
Well, that's just like Thanksgiving
that's
Day.
theirs.
How many of you were called out there?
Well, that was me and Jim, and then I had to call Dawn.
Yeah.
So that was a couple hours at several dollars an hour.
And there wasn't hardly any, there were no campers there. I mean,
No.
Yeah, it's like Saturday, I had to reset it again Saturday.
You did?
We've
We've gone through quite a few.
I mean, it's a constant.
I know.
And a noteworthiness to the board, I've already talked to IDEM, our state inspector, and she's aware of that this is a possibility that town could turn it back over to them. The only thing she told me is to make sure they were aware of the paperwork for lift station overflows, because that's all they would be responsible for. There is nothing, besides the maintenance of the lift station. All we have to do is give them the paperwork, let them know what they need to do, and we're good.
Let them have it there.
Well, we could, let them know where the motors and all that stuff come from, so
Mhm.
they can, yeah.
Yeah, and who to call.
So you need to, make a motion if that's what you wanna do and put in there exactly what you want said. We'll make a motion. Huh?
A motion to return the lift station back to the campground? I said.
Yes.
A new table to take care
Do you- When, so do you wanna wait till we get it
Well, once we
completely
get it
fixed
repaired,
this
yeah.
time?
So it's back up and running like it's supposed to.
Yes, it would be good because it would be a new,
I mean, there's no fair thing to do.
you second.
I did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. We talked about the 8th Street closure. Is there any more discussion on that? Ordinance for cats and dogs. Do you know anything about that, Randy? Cause she didn't say anything to me about it. But I do know that the cats and dogs fall under the animal ordinance. They're all together. So whatever the animal ordinance is, does somebody have a question?
That wasn't sent to me, that was,
Chris has always
That
said
was
that
you.
we can't do
Yeah.
anything with cats.
There's people all over that Clay City chatterbox thing about pit bulls running loose and, other dogs too.
We haven't had any calls about any dogs so far this summer.
But every time we call the shelter, then they don't want to take any dogs. So what are you proposing we do with them?
Well,
Sure.
32-cent high-speed lead impact.
You could find them.
Please don't shoot mine if it gets out.
Well, yours I'll bring home. I know where it goes.
We can find him if we know who the owner is, and then, as far as the humane shelter, we just keep working with them. If it's a dog that's vicious, is how they usually say it, then they usually will come down. But other than that, we can just do it like we always do, try to work with the owners and try to catch the dogs ourselves and get the humane shelter to come get them if they will.
well, here's the thing is, it's spring and fall.
Yeah.
Whenever the females come in heat, that makes the males run from their owners to this thing. So it's
Yeah.
if you notice, all summer we don't talk about this until the fall again. So it's just that time of year and maybe we could put on our Facebook page when Clay County and they usually have it at Brazil Park, they do the spay and neuter, and it's low cost for people that can't afford it. So I mean, it's worth.
You could put it out
posting.
there,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Well, some people will if they don't have to pay for it or it's not as expensive.
Down on Nye and over in there, cats from this big to that big, just constantly.
Yep, cats are a
And
little
they
bit
feed 'em,
more
so
different than dogs, but
evidently they're
it's
cats.
twice a year at least we know for a fact that this always happens in the spring and the fall.
Wow.
Yeah, as far as I know, there's, and I could be wrong, but I don't know of any cat ordinances in any cities or any
So,
I've never heard of one.
Chris has
look
always
into it.
maintained that we cannot control cats. We can't control dog barking either. But we can control the
Well,
loose
I
dog.
mean,
They wouldn't like it.
there's enough repeat offenders though that every whipstick you see, they,
So I could say my
That's
dog
a hound
identified
around
as
the
a cat.
they're somewhere over.
I am not a cat person, and I always have cats inside my fence.
They're probably ours.
One's a Siamese cat, one's a
These
big
are ours.
yellow cat, one's
Well, the
a-
yellow one is Henry Danger,
Okay.
and the black one is
Henry
Foxy.
In town,
Yeah.
My dog was found on the highway between the Mexican and Miller's, and she's fixed. We don't know what happened. She's never left our yard, so
probably not happy with what you're feeding.
probably not.
I was gonna say, most of the time on Play
Yeah,
City
she's
Chatter,
a
aren't they
real
just
trail
telling
leader.
people though that their animals loose, go get it?
That's normally
I was thinking that's what I usually
That
see.
seems to work pretty good.
Yeah.
No more banker help for you, Timmy. The Humane Society has a program where you can get traps for cats,
Uh-huh.
and there you go. Now you're back in good graces. people can get traps, and they also have, I don't wanna say a scholarship, but they have grant funding that's available for people who aren't able to afford spay and neuter, so they can get like a voucher.
Okay, but when we catch them, what do we do with them?
Well, the county, the Humane Society can tell you what to do, but a lot of times what people do is they will catch them and then they will get them. They have special clinics here, and I think there's even one in Linton, because it's
Or-
one of the local towns that
Oh,
they can take it in and they can get a voucher to get the cats.
Yeah, there's a lady I
spayed and
pull over
neutered.
more than she deserves to be pulled over. She needs to get a ticket, but anyway, there's a lady that I tend to pull over sometimes. And it's interesting when you stop her, because she has a vehicle, a Jeep Wrangler full of cats. And she takes them somewhere down south.
Probably Linton, cause I've heard
Linton,
Linton
maybe.
does
Oh,
it.
High
She takes them
River?
somewhere. No, she actually
That's too
takes
far
them,
south.
has them
Oh, I
spayed and
just wondered.
neutered,
That's
and then
where-
she brings them back
There's a lot of
and
hospitals down there.
distributes them in the county where people want them for barn cats. So, and she does all that on her
Remember
own.
my cat that-
I've heard the whole story when I
It really
saw it.
wasn't my cat.
Sorry.
And then the other one is
Too much
spayed. Well, I was
information.
gonna go get it spayed, and it come home one day and it had part of his ear chopped, a little bit of his ear, clipped. And Casey come home and she said, Mom, that cat's been neutered. I said, well, I didn't do it. I said, it's been gone for 3 or 4 days. I said, I don't know who did it, but I said, it come back home.
Yeah.
So now I've got a pre-neutered cat, so maybe it was that lady.
It could be. We're gonna add Randy, her computer at the desk, so we have an emergency we're putting on the agenda. She needs a new computer, so one is, $579.99 and the other one is $99.99. They specify or?
And Staples.
Staples, okay. So can we put a certain amount up to, so she can get a computer? These are in stock in Terre Haute, she can pick it up.
Staples services them, I know that.
Really?
If you have a problem with it, you take it back to Staples and they service them.
So, just so the other two board members know, this is what does your water bills.
Yes.
This is that computer.
And it's 8 years old, so.
Yeah.
The computer lasts.
It decided it didn't wanna work today.
They made it where it would give up the ghost in the.
It did, it was
So
terrible.
600 plus tax.
Yeah.
Well, we don't pay tax, never mind. $600.
Motion for $600 for the computer.
You good with it? All in favor?
Computer portion.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried for new computer. My son is graduating from St. Mary's, and he has to do 30 hours of community service for health and safety. he wants to know if he can do his 30 hours here for the town. It can include painting curbs, trimming up trees so people don't get smacked in the face, anything to do with health and safety of the residents of town.
I have no problem with
Blight properties. It's been brought to our attention, even though we already know, that we have tons of buildings on Main Street that we need to do something with. We used to have the owners of the Red and White and the old Main Street Diner, Terry. Do we still have those?
What was it again, sorry?
The owners, how to reach them?
Of the old Reddit?
Yeah, the old grocery store that the roof's gone.
Oh, yes, if it's the same. I know back
It keeps changing.
a few years ago, it had changed once, twice within a year, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I can try to find that information.
Well, we need to try to figure out what we can do with those properties, and then, there's some other houses in town that some people are trying to, it's the USA Committee, is trying to get some blight grants through Thrive, is it Thrive? And, they want to, see if we can access this property that these people are out of town that own them, they're not local people. But, to try to get them to move on them, if they can either turn them over to the town or do something that we can, do something with the property. If you get a grant through Okra and you have a blight grant, you have to leave it in a green space for 5 years. The grants that they're working on is primarily to acquire the property, either with nothing on it or a building structure that is unsafe or condemned, and then tear it down and have a builder come in and put new houses up. They're looking to do like 5 to start off with, and maybe up to, what'd you say, 30?
15 would be a good
15?
start.
Okay, so I was just hoping. It would do us good, but if anybody knows of any vacant land or, we need to put a little bit of bite in our blight stuff and try to, do, I think you said you were looking at 10th and White? Is that Carl Hallen's old property?
I think so.
Yeah, so that one is owned by somebody not around here, they just buy them at tax auctions and stuff. That's the same thing with the stores over here, they're not owned by local people. So, my question is can we go over our, policies and add a little bit to it, where we can start doing something with these properties?
Absolutely.
Take a look at it.
David, do you want to say anything else about that?
Just kind of take a look at the ordinances. There are some ordinances in place where you have the ability to fine.
Yeah.
And there is some leeway, I think, in there. There's a couple in there that says that you can fine them once, 2 or 3 times, but only in a year period. Other ones say that this fine is, say, $100 to $300 daily. So there might need to be some standardization with a couple of those. It also has the ability to have somebody in town that the town board establishes is who can go and make some of those recommendations on those properties. And if the town doesn't want to do that, there's an ordinance that says that it could be turned over to the county. I don't know if the county would want to be able to take responsibility of that, but that's the way the ordinances are currently written.
My thing to him when he brought this to my attention was, we don't have the funds to tear down
Right.
things.
Why don't we see what we can do to find the owners as we can, and have Sarah or
See what their intent is, and,
send them letters And make them notice of how much it could be fined for.
Send a copy of the ordinance.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they don't respond, then start sending them a bill.
Or see what they're gonna do, offer them to buy them from, you know.
I had something in my head, but now it's gone. The grant that you have is mainly to acquire the property, add the houses, and then you would sell them, right? They're not rentals, they're not for anybody to make money or,
Well, we're working with a local builder who is ready to come in and build, just need lots.
lots.
And Thrive has a program right now there is some Lily Blight money that's available for the 5 surrounding counties, Clay, Vigo, Sullivan, I think Vermillion, and I can't remember which other one it was, but there's 5 counties that are available. There is up to $8 million to split between these counties to do this. And the counties that have a program ready to start building are the ones that are probably gonna get it. And the blight money is available to buy a lot with a house that's considered blight that needs to be torn down and rebuilt. Thrive can probably help us do some other things with some vacant lots, but there's a whole bunch of things that are coming together right now to get new housing here in town. And we need to take advantage of it between the grant money that's available. I've had 2 builders come and approach and say, hey, we want to build in Clay City. So the time is right. We just need to get the property and the lots available so they can build.
So we will go over that. I will talk with Chris and bring up a couple of things maybe, and then I'll get back with you before anything gets changed. Is that good?
Now, if I may, there's one ordinance in there that says something, and I can pull it up and show you later, but it essentially says that it has to go kind of like before the circuit court, is if I remember reading it
Yes.
right. When you look at some of the other ordinances for surrounding areas like the county, it goes before the local board, it doesn't go to court, but that's written in the ordinance. So maybe if you ask Chris for that
Change the
particular ordinance, if it can be changed, if it comes before you, and then you as the board makes a vote on what to do with advice, having to turn it into the county and go to court, that might make it easier and less expensive if you guys handle it by turning it over and requiring it that it go to court. Now, Chris may know more of the legal aspects on it, but I don't think some of the county rules for the similar things require that. It goes before the county commissioners.
Okay. Anything else on that one? Wabash Valley Community Foundation grant. Sarah is working on a, grant for $25,000 to help with a generator and some other things for this building here. We had 3 phases. One was painting,
Outside, inside.
outside and inside, and then she wants to go ahead and start building by building, getting generators put in. So she has this proposal already, she said, to go in, so that's just for information. What else did we have to discuss?
I don't know anything else.
No, just with the weather warming up, we need to get on the potholes pretty quick on that list that I made, so.
I made a copy and give it to Jet and Doug and myself to handle your list and make sure it gets taken care of.
Something I could,
Okay, so So you two are gonna talk to the contractor over there, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to Pavlik tomorrow, and
Okay,
Pavlik's his boss, so.
yeah, I just know that when I talked to him, he said it was.
Well, he's kind of,
No, I mean the contractor. 4
that's what I
weeks.
mean, he's kind of,
Yeah.
knows-all, so.
Oh,
I'm sure you don't wanna give up the space, I think it's really handy for working, have that much room.
okay, so we need to make a motion to pay the bills,
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
and all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. We are going to have an employee meeting on April 27th at 8:15. And, the next town council meeting will be May 5th. That is election day. Do you guys still want to meet that day?
Fine with me. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. So May 5th
Everybody
at 6.
should be voted by 6 o'clock anyway, right?
So then we just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?